Hi, I'm Matt Bracci. I'm an economics and sustainability dual major, and I'm a rising senior, and this summer I interned at PAX World Management. Now, PAX World, they manage a number of mutual funds, but they do so a little differently than the conventional firm in that they take the standard financial analysis and they combine this with equally rigorous environmental, social, and governance analysis. And what this does, it allows them to build a platform in which people can invest in companies that align with their values, whether that be providing a social or environmental good. And I spent most of my summer on the environmental side of ESG analysis. And I looked at greenhouse gas accounting under the Greenhouse Gas Protocol. Now, a little background, there's three types of emissions for a single company. There's Scope 1, which is the emissions that occur through direct combustion of fossil fuels. There's Scope 2, which is the emissions that occur through the purchasing of electricity from the grid. And then there's Scope 3, which is everything else on the upstream and the downstream that is part of the company's value chain. And a very important part of Scope 3 is the use of the sold product, or the product's use. Another important part is that if the protocol is adopted, then Scope 3 is left as optional. Now, really, there's a need to change this, though, because of the companies that have reported on their Scope 3, they're actually making up a majority of the emissions on average. In addition, they happen to be the least reported on. And not only are they the least reported on, but the Scope 1 and 2 emissions are being estimated, whereas the Scope 3 aren't. And what this does is it causes stakeholders to only focus on the Scope 1 and 2 emissions. So companies which make products that through their use emit fossil fuels, they are looking more environmentally friendly than they really are because we're not seeing the emissions that occur through the product's use. On the other end of the spectrum, companies that through their product innovation and energy efficiency enable other companies to use less emissions, there's no standard that is keeping track of these emissions, so we're not seeing the full environmental good that these companies are providing. So what PAX decided to do is keep track of these emissions that are being avoided downstream, and we nicknamed these the Scope 4. And we found that in their balance fund, which is their largest fund, that over 32 million metric tons of CO2 are being avoided every year. And this is through a strict technical definition of what actually constitutes Scope 4. Now, where this will leave PAX is they're going to continue to use this, and they're going to search for companies that are having Scope 4 emissions, and this will help them provide an environmental good. And if other ESG firms start to do this, then it could really spur product innovation and help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And all of this really comes in well into PAX's main goal and their theory of change, and that they say, we can provide you a fair return, and we can manage your risk, and we can do so while investing in companies that are environmentally and socially responsible. And this constant innovative thinking that they're doing that further perfects their ESG analysis really exemplifies their end goals. And lastly, I would just like to thank Julie Gordy and the entire ESG team at PAX for giving me this project and helping me along the way. Thank you.